Thank you, Laszlo. And now I'm very pleased to have Scott Smeltzer as our commencement speaker. Last on the program, you will hear a graduation speech by his youngest, Lucas Smeltzer. You will notice, if you read his biography at the bottom of the page, that he began homeschooling in 1991, 30 years ago, the same time that PHAA, our accreditation agency, was founded and recognized by the Pennsylvania Board of Education. So, without further ado, I bring you Scott Smeltzer.
Good evening. I would like to begin tonight with a hearty thank you to Howard and Susan Richmond for their pioneering work in homeschooling in Pennsylvania, as well as their years in ongoing service to the homeschooling community. Many of you may know that they were directly involved in helping bring about the legislation that produced law in Pennsylvania that allowed for the liberty and independence of homeschooling along with a reasonable academic accountability. And Howard and Susan, thank you very much. Please give them a round of applause. To the class of 2023, congratulations. You have worked and persevered, and it is a privilege to be with you tonight and celebrate your accomplishment. This is a significant turning point in your life, but do understand, as I think you do, it is not the end of work or perseverance. In fact, as you advance, some of you onto college, some of you onto a trade or craft or business, you may occasionally find yourself at times missing the relatively lower loads of responsibility that you had in prior years. But that should not be the norm. We wish for you good, strong, courageous lives that will thrive and step up to greater responsibilities and challenges that lay before you. As you prepare to do that, I wish to impart 3 warnings as you continue on your journey. You may already know much of what I will share with you, but if you will listen well, you may hear something that will resonate and help you, and if that be the case, I will have served my purpose. The latter 2 are probably the most important 2. The first one I'm going to speak on a little bit longer, perhaps because I am a curmudgeon and a Luddite, but also because it will be of benefit to you. Warning number 1. We have left you a world that is more advanced in technology, but in many ways it is less advanced in areas of strength of character, courage, morals, and reliability. In your pocket is a computing power that was unimaginable many years ago. It is a great tool, no doubt. But the value of a tool depends on the values and character of the tool wielder. A hammer, for example, is used by one man to build and improve. The same hammer can be used by another man to break in and to take life. And so with our technological advancements. They have made us more technological people. They have not made us better people. The ancient commandments carved in stone included, do not steal, do not commit adultery, do not bear false witness. These sins have not and will not be resolved by technology. They have simply allowed thieves to steal more, liars to spread lies farther, and cheaters to find cheaters with a click of a button. Do not think that technology is the solution to society's problems and man's moral issues. Value tools, make use of them for good things, but don't mistake them for inherent value, and don't mistake virtual reality for reality. Last year, Mark Zuckerberg said the following about the virtual world he was building. He said, quote, "It's about a time when basically immersive digital worlds become the primary way that we live our lives and spend our time." How sad. Recently, a famous editorial cartoonist for the Washington Post said he looks forward to the day robots will do everything and no one will need to work. It reminds me of the scene in WALL-E, if you recall, in the future, when the people, they just sit on these lazy boys moving around and robots do everything, and when occasionally one of them falls out of his moving lazy boy, he can't get up and the robots have to pick him up. Gasp. I hope that when grandma is recovering from surgery or in a nursing home, it is not a robot treating her. I'm happy to report that the metaverse did not fare as well as Zuckerberg intended, but it's astonishing that such a thing can even be desired. Listen to me. Virtual reality is not reality. Virtual trees do not produce oxygen, do not supply lumber, do not yield fruit. Appreciate the natural and real world. Social media followers are not the same thing as real friends. And please, please do not measure your worth or others' worth by counting likes. Filters and Photoshop and fake lashes are not reality or real beauty. And playing soccer or basketball on a screen is no match for actually playing soccer or actually playing basketball. And the love of a real spouse that loves you and loves your children is a beautiful reality far above the emptiness of internet exhibitionists. My point, graduates, embrace reality. Use technology. Some of you will probably be going into computer fields where you can do wonderful things with those tools, accomplish great good with them. But embrace reality and live in the real world. Use technology, but do not become its slave. There was an article in the news a few years ago. A study in Britain showed that the skulls of young people are actually being altered, not genetically, but conditionally. There is a spur that's being produced at the back of the skull. You know why? Because the head is so often tilted over like this. And so calcium is being built up there to let the muscles attach to this little kind of spur on the back. So pro tip, don't grow spurs on the back of the skull. Warning number 2. Understand the difference between self-respect and selfish arrogance. We live in a culture that unfortunately mocks virtue, celebrates selfishness, celebrates arrogance, exalts self-pity, which is another form of selfishness. It also, as Isaiah 5:20 says, calls evil good and good evil. And it puts pretense over reality. It undervalues humility and it rewards arrogance and self-promotion. Think about this with me, though. I want everybody here to think about 2 people. Number 1, I want everyone here to think for a few seconds about someone you really deeply respect. Think of someone you really respect and really love. Give a nod with your head when you thought of something. Now I want you to think about someone you know that is really selfish and self-centered. There's something odd about selfishness. We think that selfishness will make us happy. Because after all, if I get myself, that's better. You know, if I beat that little old lady to the parking spot by Walmart, I got there and she didn't. You know, if I get the last piece of pie, I got it, somebody else didn't. It seems that being selfish would make us happy. But I want you to think of the most selfish, self-centered person you know. When you thought of that person, don't call their name out. But not when you thought of a person like that. I don't think any of you thought of the same person. I'm going to guess that the first person that you deeply respect and love, I'm going to guess that that is not a selfish person. That is a giving person. And that's one of the reasons you love them and respect them so much. And I'm going to guess that the second person you thought of, who's always trying to do things just for themselves so that they will get happiness, is probably not a very happy person. It is better to give than receive. Do well, have respect for others, have respect for yourself. Humility, someone said, is not a pretty girl saying, I'm ugly, or an untalented person saying they're incapable. But humility values talent, whether it was their talent or another's. Do what you do well. Don't be arrogant. Don't mistreat and step on others to succeed. Do well because you do what you do well. Be authentic, be of substance, be of servants, be real. And when you're wrong, admit it. Take responsibility. That's part of being real, not placid. Finally, warning number 3, and perhaps the most important of all. Realize you are not the greatest thing in the universe. Now, obviously you're not. Most of you know that. But if your mother told you you were, realize that the rest of the world is not going to buy into that. Look, if I look around the universe and I can't find anything more important than this particular bag of bones, I am sadly misinformed and a very poor judge of importance. Look beyond yourself. Look to others. Serve others. Be a servant. Be brave. Look to your Creator. I want to say just a word about bravery. I thought about talking to you tonight about Ernest Shackleton. He's an amazing guy. I'm not going to, but just to very briefly mention it, and those that want to, you can research him later. But I'll just say this. He was going to go to the South Pole. He sailed out in 1914. 1914, he sailed on the Endurance with 26 men plus a stowaway. Not long after that, from some islands in the South Atlantic down at the bottom near South America, when they got to Antarctica, they got locked in ice and trapped. And they were stuck there for 10 months. Eventually the ice crushed the ship, water started pouring in, they had to abandon ship. They took the lifeboats with them. They couldn't make it well to land, so they stayed on the ice floe and drifted on the ice floe for a long, long time. As it began to break up, they put the lifeboats in and they sailed through open seas and finally got to an island, but they landed on the wrong side. They had to go up a mountain, and then the only really way down was a glacier, and it was foggy. And you're on top of a mountain with a sheet of ice, and it's foggy, and you can't see very far in front of you. But they had to go. And so they just slid down that glacier, down the mountainside, not knowing what was below. He finally made it to safety and went back and rescued the rest of his men in 1916. They started out in 1914. He saved every single man on the mission. Be brave. Do unto others as you would have them do to you. Look to where you came from. We did not put ourselves here. We did not design the eyes we use to study with. We did not design the feet we walk here with. We did not design the ears we hear with. Proverbs 20 verse 12. The hearing ear, the seeing eye, the Lord has made them both. Romans 1:20 says that the invisible Creator can clearly be seen by looking at the things that He made. Look beyond yourself. Look to your Creator. Graduates, do well. Enjoy this victory. Live life well. Live real lives. Look to your Creator. Live respectful lives that will be respected, not proudful lives of arrogance. A person wrapped up in themselves, the saying goes, is a very small package. Appreciate who got you here. Thank your parents. Thank your teachers. Thank your mentors. Above all, look to the Creator without whom none of us would even exist. Go forth, do good work, enjoy, and congratulations on your accomplishment. Class of 2023, it's your turn. Congratulations.